Well, good evening. Let's start a little early this time. All right. Let's start off with this. I wanted to start off the show with just a few words about our friend Ralphie from the Wise Up Show. Let me get on screen here before I get started. But before I do that, I want to say hello to everybody real quick. Zelda, thank you for joining. Thendu, Carmela, See No Evil, Holy Donuts, Carmela, Gina is here. Thank you, guys. Co-Train, Bella, Polly Donuts, Sharon with Sharon. Shannon, I'm sorry, excuse me. Stiggs is here, of course. Adam. Oh, but Dean Deuce trolling at the beginning with Build the Guild. Thank you. Sven, Larson, Octavia was even here. So anyway, thank you guys for joining. And I won't take up long before I get to my stories, but I just wanted to say my piece and say my goodbyes to Ralphie. I was on Thendu's show. I was on Tommy's. We were Todd's. We all did it, and I just thought I would put my 2 cents in real quick. Ralphie was a friend. He was a friend for a couple of years. He had a falling out. You all know the story. He had a falling out. I don't know why. I know why, but I kind of don't know why. I do know why, but I don't know why. It's, if you know what I mean. It wasn't like this glaring incident that happened. But anyway, but I never wished him any ill will, and I don't think any of us wished him any ill will, nor did he wish us ill will. And he gave us a lot of laughs. He really did. And I do appreciate that. And I do remember him fondly because of that. And when I heard that he had passed, I was sad. I was sad. And because of that, because when you get to know someone and you do have a relationship with them for a while, they become a part of your life, whether whether it ends well or ends the best way or what have you. They were a part of your life, and they always will be. From that part of your life will always be there. So, and and I've said this before. Ralphie had a lot of demons, and we all do. But I think his were stronger ones, and because of that, he had this edge to him at times that wasn't easy to deal with. But listen, all in all, I think he was a good man, and I have and I will pray for him. That's something that I believe in. You guys watch my show, you know that I believe I am a man of faith. I believe in the Bible. I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus, and I post Bible verses for a reason. Those verses mean something to me. I don't just randomly, throw up something. They mean something to me. And what was I going to say? I don't know. I don't, I don't know, but I believe in, and I will pray for him, and that's all I wanted to really say about that. I'm getting all choked up, but anyway, um, and that's how it is. But anyway, to Ralphie, I say Godspeed, and until we meet again. That's what I always say. So and I tried to play that video, and the story behind that video is pretty funny, and he loved that video too because that video, when he posted it originally, he posted it with modern music. It didn't have time accurate music. So I took it and I put Love Machine on it and played it from there. And he got such a kick out of that. He thought it was hilarious. We really don't know what he was dancing to in that music because, like he always said, he was a man of secrets and he wouldn't tell you. He would not tell you what he was dancing to in that video. But I always believed that he saw himself as that way forever. That's who he saw him. That Ralph in that video, he saw himself that way, and to the end. I think without a doubt, I think he did. Um, was that playing? I tried to play it, but I don't think it was playing. I didn't see it moving. So I will. Let me see it. Let me try to do it again. But you guys seen it before. Those of you who, I hope everybody here knows what I'm talking about. And but let me see here. That was the because that is on TikTok. That version is on TikTok, and that's what I was trying to play because that has the music to it. There it goes. Music fits. I think it fits so much. So yeah, the love machine, and I think he did view himself as a love machine. So I always thought that was very appropriate. So so anyway, with that, I will say, thank you for listening to me as I say my goodbyes to him, and let's get going with our regularly scheduled program. Yes, see no evil. He was a legend in his own way. Let me say hello. Let me say hello to Delilah. Let me say hello to Mustang Mike. Um, um, who else did I think I said hello to See No Evil already. I said hello to Sven already. See anyone else? Deborah Roberts, Arlene, Todd Father. Let's say anyone else here. I think I got everybody. All right. Let's see. Let's stop sharing that. Okay. Now let's light our candles and let's get going here. What is going on here? This is interesting. Do we have a defective candle? Won't light. The wick is shot on this thing. There we go. All right. Let's shut this off. There we go. Lenny is here. Victor is here, and we are ready to go. All right. Now let's talk about Kentucky, which to me was very interesting because I didn't know there were so many interesting ghost stories. And I have 5 good ones I want to talk to you about real quick. And if we have time, I have some videos to look at the end. So let's get started with number 1, the witch tree. Now, sounds intriguing, right? The witch tree. And it's located in Alexandria, Kentucky. Now, let me show you some pictures real quick here before we get into the story. But basically, the story is that sometime in the early 1800s, there were 3 women that lived there who were believed to be witches. And we've done shows on witches before in the past. And it seems to be a pattern. You know, what happens to those that are thought to be witches, especially in that time period? Bad things end up. And as a result, we have violence. Bad things happen to them. And their spirits become very at rest, very unat rest. So let me show you. The story is that these 3 women had a witch covenant, and they were practicing questionable things. And and I'll show you what it looks like. Now, the witch tree is said to be the place where the 3 of them were hanged, all 3 of them at the same time, each from their own branch. Kind of like if you've ever seen the movie Hocus Pocus, when the witches, I mean, that's a fun movie, but the witches get hanged. The 3 of them get hanged. It's kind of like that, but this was supposedly actually happened. So let me show you what we're talking about here. Okay. Now, on this spot is where the witch tree stood. Now, it has since vanished. I mean, not vanished. It has since been taken down because it died. But it was there. It was a very, very old tree, a couple of 100 years old. And it was at this crossroads here. And it is said that when these witches, or accused witches at least, were hanged, as they were being hanged, their last words, or all 3 of them at the same time said a curse, put out a curse on the tree, on the town, on the community, and everything. And they said that if anyone harms this tree, they will meet their doom, was basically the curse. And as a result of that, when that happened, as it happened, they kicked out the horses from which they were under, and they ended up meeting their demise. But it's said that they vanished. The theory or the legend is that they actually vanish from the horses. And when they do that, 3 mounds appear in the road, as if their spirits or whatever had gone into the road and come up with a mound in the road. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like today. And it is said that these are, I mean, this is actually what it looks like today. This is the part of where the tree stood. But I'm going to show you where the mounds are. Now, this is really interesting because you can see it. You could see it in the distance. So let me share my screen again. If I can get this right here. Hold on. Let me put it on full screen so you can take a good look at it. As you can see in the distance, there's 3 mounds here in the road. This is the first one. Here's the second one, and then there's a third one. And it's basically how the road, when the road was built, the road was poured over these 3 mounds, which was the dirt road originally. And it's said that their spirits lie within this road. Now, what is the ghostly activity that has happened since then? It's said that before the tree actually died, that on several occasions people have tried to cut the tree down. um, that axes would break on the tree. People with axes would try to chop the tree down. The axes themselves would break. Chainsaws would not work. So we're talking about modern times to some degree that there were chainsaws. So at least into the 20th century, chainsaws would stop working. And it is said that if you took a picture in that area, some of the pictures would come up showing spirits hanging from the tree. Odd things would be in those pictures. And then anyone who tried to cut down the tree or damage the tree would end up having bad luck. Bad things happened to them afterwards. So it seemed as if the curse was real, or at least the spell was real, and people, or at least people believed the spell was real, because a lot of bad things happened to those that tried to cut the tree down. And it wasn't until it actually died on its own that it was taken down from the road. So that's the witch tree of Alexandria. And the story, there isn't much of a backstory that I could find, other than that these three women were engaging in activities that thought to be witchcraft. They got on the Ohio River and tried to escape via a boat. The boat went in. The Ohio River went into the contributory, the Licking River, which is a contributory, and that's where they were caught by the townspeople. The townspeople dragged them off, brought them back, and hanged them at this tree. So a creepy history of some degree, and bound to be paranormal activity when something like that happens. So that's number one, the witch tree of Alexandria, Kentucky. All right. Now let's go on to number two. Number two is Liberty Hall. Now, Liberty Hall is located in Frankfort, Kentucky. And Liberty Hall, let me show you what it looks like, is the home, they say, to three spirits. And each one of them has its own story, obviously. They're not related. They're different. Hold on. Let's do this. Where is it? There it is. And as you can see, it's a colonial structure. It was built in 1796. So if you've ever been to Williamsburg, Virginia, you see houses like this. This is how things were built, all brick, in the late 1700s. It was built by John Brown and family, and over the years, it's always remained in the Brown family until up to the 30s. Then it became a historical site. But over the years, things have happened here that have resulted in spiritual activity and three ghosts. All right, so let's go through them one at a time. Now, the first one is called the Gray Lady. Now, the Gray Lady, I wish I could move this. I really can't move this around. I wish I could move it because it kind of covers my face, which is annoying, but whatever. The Gray Lady is an individual who in life was named Margaret Varick. And the story takes place in 1817. So very long, more than 200 years ago. All right, so let me get rid of this so I can show you what she looked like. So let me show you I have a painting of her, I believe. Oh, wait, no, I do not. I'm sorry, I don't have a painting of her. But anyway, I don't have I'm sorry, I don't have a painting. I have a painting of someone else. We're going to get to. That's a future story that I'm going to get to. So anyway, Margaret Varick travels in the year 1817, travels 800 miles to visit her nephew in Illinois. And in the process, she stops and stays at Liberty Hall because she knew the Browns. So they offer her, the opportunity to stay as her travels. Well, she was a woman of 65 years old, and it was, 1817, and it was the winter. And unfortunately, she caught a cold and ended up dying of heart failure very soonly thereafter in the building, in the home. So she never got to meet her, visit her son. She died en route at Liberty Hall itself. And it said that what they did was they buried her in the garden. They buried her right in the garden of the home because she didn't live in the area, and they didn't really have a plot in a cemetery or anything, so they buried her in the home, in the grounds, in the garden of the place. Now, it said that her spirit haunts this place, but she's a very benevolent spirit. She's a good spirit, a kind spirit. She's not there to do harm ever. She is as kindly as she was in real life, is what they say. And her ghost was first spotted in the 1880s. In the 1880s, by the great great granddaughter of the Browns, of John Brown, whose name was Mary Mason Scott, and she first encounters her wandering the grounds randomly. And ever since then, it is said that generations of people that lived or worked in the house have seen the Gray Lady. And they call her the Gray Lady because she's wearing a gray gown, a gray dress. And she's very benevolent. In fact, what she does is her spirit washes the windows and dusts the furniture. So, hey, who can't complain about that? Who could complain about that? I need a ghost like that. She does open and close doors a lot, which can be a little startling, but she's not doing it to frighten people away. I guess it's just how she makes her way through the house, as if she was alive, opening and closing the doors. But she does do her part in maintaining Liberty Hall. So she's the Gray Lady of Liberty Hall is Margaret, the spirit of Margaret Varick, is a good ghost, a benevolent spirit that haunts Liberty Hall. All right, that's the spirit number one in Liberty Hall. Spirit number two is this believed to be the spirit of a Spanish opera singer who came to sing for the Browns in 1805 at a gala they were having. And the story goes that after she performed, she went for a walk out in the garden and vanished and never returned. And it is believed that she was abducted by some nefarious characters and met her doom. So, what people have seen is a beautiful young woman with long black hair and a white dress sometimes wandering the garden, sometimes running in the garden, looking back as if she's looking to escape her pursuers. So, they never really see her in the house. It's always in the garden or towards the river. So she may be just reliving over and over again her fate, whatever that might have been. And I don't have a name for her. I couldn't find a name for her anywhere, only that she was an opera singer from Spain that had come and vanished. And but they say that she's very beautiful. But however, she's very distraught when you see her. She's under stress. She's running away and looking, trying to get away from her attackers. So pretty disturbing to look at, I would guess. A harrowed woman trying to run away like that. So that's number two. So the first one was the Gray Lady. The second one was the Spanish opera singer, and the third one is a British soldier from the War of 1812. He said he's a young British soldier in uniform who will often walk up to the windows and look inside the windows longingly. And the story goes is that he was part of the British expedition force that attacked and was eventually defeated by the Americans. He was likely killed in battle, but he had fallen in love with a local girl who lived there at the time, a local servant girl of the Browns, and he is returning to look for her in the windows, looking in the windows, looking for his long lost love that he never got to meet, or never got to marry or run away with, because he met his end in a battle against the Americans. So kind of a sad ghost looking for fulfillment of what he lost or what he never had, I guess, in life. So those are your three ghosts from Liberty Hall in Frankfort, Kentucky. the Gray Lady, the Spanish opera singer, and the soldier, the British soldier. So 3 ghosts, none of which are really scary ghosts, none of which are mean or negative ghosts. Or, they're just doing their thing, so to speak. All right. Now let's go on to number 3. Now number 3 is basically a horror story when you think about it, and it's about Octavia Hatcher. Now Octavia Hatcher died in the year 1889. No, I'm sorry. She died in the year 1891. 1891. In 1889, she married her maiden name is Smith. So her maiden name is Octavia Smith. She marries James Hatcher in 1889, and they quickly have a son. A year later, the beginning of 1891, and unfortunately, that child passes away within days of its birth. And with that, Octavia falls into this horrendous depression. Now, I'll show you. There is a picture of Octavia, so I want to show you what she looked like, so you get the gist of what I'm talking about here. This is Octavia Smith Hatcher. Put it on full screen. And in this picture, now you see next to it the coffin. That's the coffin in which they believe she was buried in. And the horror of this is basically that she was buried alive by accident. Now, the story goes that what happened was, when she was in this depression for the loss of her child, her depression got so bad that she became physically ill, and her defenses, her immune system was so weak that she caught this bug, which basically put her in a coma. And at the time, they didn't know that she was actually in a coma. They thought she had died. And they quickly went to bury her. And they do bury her. Now, unfortunately, what happens is, several days later, other people in the village, by the way, this is in, where is this? This is in Pikeville, Kentucky. Several people in the village come down with the same illness and fall asleep, kind of as if in a dead notion, but then wake up. So this raises some eyebrows to say, wait a minute, if these others have woken up from this supposed death, we thought they were dead. What about Octavia? Was Octavia actually alive? So they exhume her body, they exhume it, and what they find is horrifying. They find that she indeed was alive, and that she was clawing her way, clawing her way out, to the point that there was blood all over inside of the coffin, on her hands. Basically, she, and on her face was this look of horror, in that she had, she was buried alive, and she ended up dying, obviously, of either lack of oxygen or fright, from being in that horrendous situation. So as a result of that, her husband looked to honor her, and actually put in the cemetery, when they rebury her, has a monument to her in the cemetery. And I'll show you what the monument looks like, because kind of the story, the ghost part of this, revolves around the monument. Now, here is what the monument looks like. That's her. That's Octavia Hatcher right there. And this monument is over her grave. And it is said that on the anniversary of her death, this statue will turn around, and in symbolic nature and turn its back on the town because she is so disgusted and with what had happened to her by the town that this people have said they've seen this, that during the night on the anniversary this statue will turn around and you will see only the back of it facing the town. Now, other things that they've witnessed around here in this graveyard is that in addition to this event that happens once a year, they will also see her actual spirit wandering around. And people say they see her trying to dig up other graves in a vain effort to help others who may have been, in her mind, buried alive as well. And the spirit is weeping, and people will hear this weeping coming from the cemetery as she in vain tries to dig up, she's only a spirit. So she's trying to dig up the graves of others to try to help them from being buried alive like she was. So a very horrifying concept and sad tale around this woman, Octavia Hatcher. So that's the story of that, Octavia Hatcher in Pikeville, Kentucky. All right. Let's go on to story number 4. Now, story number 4 is Camp Taylor. Now, the story goes around this. Camp Taylor, it was a 2,300 acre, and that's pretty darn big, a 2,300 acre military training camp, built for World War I. Now, I have a picture of it, what it looks like. It's not much to look at. It was a bunch of barracks and training grounds. So this is what it looks like, what it looked like. As you can see, barracks and such. It's pretty big. It's pretty big. In fact, in its heyday, there were 47,000 troops here that would come and train and live here, in the war effort for World War I. It was an area where they would come for basic training, then they'd be shipped out. So it's a very famous Camp Taylor. It's named after President James Taylor, who was also from Kentucky. And so it was a very active place. And until 1918, and as you recall, the 1918 or 1917 into 1918 was the Great Spanish Flu. Now, the Spanish flu hit this place as well as it did other places in America and actually the entire world. That was like the last pandemic from this one, prior to this one that we had a few years ago. And that one killed 1,000 soldiers in this camp. And it is said that their spirits are linked here and that tend to come back over and over and over. Now, what do they see here? Now, the barracks, for the most part, are gone. There's some barracks left. Some barracks are left, and they call them ghost barracks because there's nobody in them. It's like a ghost town. But most of this area has been turned into a town. So there's residents there now. They had demolished most of it and built homes. After World War II, a lot for returning soldiers from the war came back and occupied homes, got married, occupied homes, had families, etc. Now, what do they see in this town, though, now? Because the town's now called Camp Taylor because, it's named after that. And some of the streets in the town are named after generals, which would make sense, right? Military origin. So there's General Lee, there's a General Grant, there's General MacArthur. There are all these names of streets that are named after generals. Now, people say they will see soldiers marching in the streets at night in formation, doing drills. That they'll also see a blonde woman in a blue dress. Now, the story behind her is that there was a bordello out on the outskirts of this place. and the soldiers would frequent that very often. And this is her spirit. And there's no backstory as to exactly what happened to her or anything like that. Only that her spirit is linked to this place, and that she will wander the streets at night as well. And if you make eye contact with her, she will yell and scream at you and try to drive you away. Nobody knows why, but this is what she does. A lady in a blue dress from a madam of the bordello that was there, that serviced the soldiers in this place. And then there is also a cemetery right nearby called Cave Hill Cemetery. And in there, there is a statue of what they call the grieving lady. And it's a statue of a woman crying. And many people say that they see that statue change its expression at different times, and that it will cry. It will cry. It'll change its expression, and it will also weep and make noise and cry in the middle of the night. So a lot of activity hanging around in this town, which was once Camp Taylor, the military barracks. In those vacant barracks that are still there, people hear footsteps. They will hear wailing, and they attribute the wailing to the sick and dying soldiers that were housed there from the flu. So a lot of activity in Camp Taylor, Kentucky. All right. Now, the fifth and final story is probably the most disturbing because it's real. It is the story of the chain strangler. Now, this is a documented murder that happened in 1938. Now, I'm going to show you what the chain strangler looks like. If I can get this thing to work, here we go. This right here is the chain strangler. He was a man by the name of Carl Pruitt, and he lived with his wife in a home in Pulaski County. And in 1938, Mr. Pruitt came home from work one day, opened the door to his residence, a modest little cottage, went into his bedroom, and found his wife in bed with her lover. And as you can imagine, it did not turn out very well. Well, Mr. Pruitt went into a rage, and as he was in this rage, the wife's lover jumped out the window and escaped, leaving his wife to his evil doings all alone. And as a result, what happened was Pruitt, in a rage, took a chain that he was carrying from work, he brought home with him, and strangled her to death with the chain right in their bed. So after he does this, he comes to his senses to some degree and decides, I can't deal with this, goes out to the barn and takes his own life with a pistol that he has. So you have a murder-suicide right there. And as a result, as a result of this incident, he was not buried in the cemetery where he would normally have gone. His wife was buried there, but her family refused to have his body buried there. So he had to be buried in another cemetery. And it is said that his spirit is very unhappy that he's buried away from his wife. Even though he killed her, he loved her and is not very unhappy about being where he is. So because of that, a lot of negative things have happened around the cemetery itself and the gravesite, his gravesite. Now, the first story happens when a boy by the name of James Collins, he and his friends decided to go to this was not long after the burial of Pruitt. So it's probably 1939 or 1940. He and his friends, James Collins, get on their bikes, ride to the cemetery to find where his grave is, and begin to throw rocks at the grave site. Well, James Collins throws a rock which hits it right at the sweet spot, and a part of the tombstone chips off. Well, with that, James Collins and all the boys take off. And they hop on their bikes and they ride like heck out of there. And as a result, but along the way, James there's a turn in the road, and James goes a different way to go home. When he makes the turn in the road, it's going down a large hill. What happens is his chain on his bicycle pops, and he ends up flying out of control and crashes at the bottom of the hill. Well, James never comes home for dinner. His mom's looking for him. They send out folks to look for him. They finally find him. And when they do find him, they find him at the bottom of the hill with the chain wrapped around the bike chain wrapped around his neck. And he's suffocated to death by the chain. Well, it is believed that the spirit of Carl Pruitt, the angry, vengeful spirit of Carl Pruitt, caused this. So as a result, his mother, stricken with grief, gets a hatchet or a mallet or whatever, and proceeds to go to the gravesite and hammer and destroy the tombstone. And she destroys it. And they say that she dismantles the entire tombstone, headstone. And that night she goes home. The next day she is out doing her laundry, putting her laundry out to dry. And then she slips and falls for no apparent reason, slips and falls and gets caught on the clothesline and hangs herself on the clothesline. So that's the second death that happens due to Pruitt. And here's the creepiest part about the whole thing is that the next day they say that the damage that she'd made to the tombstone was repaired. It was back to normal the next day after her death. So really creepy stuff going on there. And then finally, I think that there is one more tale about a farmer who was driving by the cemetery at the time and had his new gun with him. He and his family, and he had his new gun, and he decided to practice shooting, and he shoots at the tombstone, knowing that this was a vacant area. It's no one around. He decides to shoot at the tombstone, and he does. And he shoots at the tombstone. He hits the tombstone. There's bullet holes or bullet ricocheting off of the tombstone. And when he does this, the sound of the gun sets off the horses to go nuts that he is on this wagon. He's on a wagon with his family. And what happens is the horses take off. He loses control. He slips and falls forward, gets caught in the reins around his neck, and the horses, and they drag him off to his death. Now, nothing happens to his family, but he ends up doomed the same way, strangulation from the reins of his own horses. So 3 deaths are attributed to the ghost of Carl Pruitt, the chain strangler of Pulaski County, Kentucky. So very creepy tale based on reality. There's no way of knowing about those follow-up deaths if they are real or if they are, just part of the legend. But he was definitely real. He was a murderer. And a very bad person that seems to carry on his evil doings after his death. So there you have your 5 stories. The Strangler, Camp Taylor, Octavia Hatcher, buried alive. Where are my other ones? Liberty Hall, with its 3 ghosts, and then the witch tree. So those are your coming live to you from Kentucky. Those are the ghost stories for tonight's episode. So thank you so much for listening to them. Let me say hello to Gina, Cheech, Emmanuel Spataro, the showstopper, Marta Fowler in the house. Good to see you. Anyone else that I missed? I don't want to make sure I said hello to anyone I didn't know. Anyone I did not. Nancy, good to see you, sis. All right. Anyone else here? Adam. I said hello to Adam earlier. I don't know if he heard me. Mustang. Yep. Good to see everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out and listening to my tales. Joetown. I almost missed you, Joetown. I see you there. All right. Thank you, guys. All right, so I have a couple of paranormal videos I'd like to share with you. Oh, Sada Treats, what's happening? John Cena. John Cena's here? Who's John? John Cena, the wrestler, is here? I didn't see him. But hello anyway to John Cena. I didn't know he was here. All right. Let's do some paranormal videos real quick, and then we'll call it a night. All right, let's go. All righty then. All right. Oh, this is something. Before I do that, this is something I wanted to show you. Let's go back to a minute to the Gray Lady, Margaret. The Gray Lady, Margaret. What's her name? Of Liberty Hall. Margaret Varick. In 1969, there was a fire in Liberty Hall. And as a result, they had to do some refurbishing for the damage. And after they did the refurbishing, they took some pictures to make sure everything was okay. And in one of the pictures, this is what they find. All right, hold on here. Hold on. Here we go. Todd Father, hold on. Let me get you up here first. Hello there. How are you?
What up? Cooking.
I'm going to
I'm done. I'm done cooking now, but
you done?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a picture taken in 1969 in Liberty Hall, and you tell me what you think about this. Here we go. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. This is said to be a picture of the Gray Lady.
Oh.
Now that's pretty darn cool. This is 1969. They can't. There's not much you could do to doctor things.
Right.
And this is another one that was checked for double exposure, and it's not a double exposure. But you could see the outline of something here on the stairs.
Well, maybe they need to clean the lens like Thindu had to yesterday on his show. maybe there was a smudge in the lens there.
I don't know, man. This is pretty cool. This one.
It is cool though. It is. Cool. It almost looks like a painting, almost. But
yeah. But this is a picture they took right after they redid the stairs from after the fire. So, pretty cool thing. Pretty cool find.
Right, it'd be super cool if you could prove it. You know what I mean? You know how cool that would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do that. But let's see here. All right, let me get out of here. Stop sharing. All right, now let's see what else we got here. All right. Where are my other ones? I don't think I didn't even launch them yet. All right, here we go. If I can get to them. All right.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? My daughter asked me to make her stuffed crust pizza tonight, and I did. It turned out pretty good, and she only had like one slice. All, all that work, all the running around to get the stuff, and she has one measly little slice. But
That's great.
my son finished it off, though. I'm not
I'm
worried
sure he
about
did. Yes.
it. You know, it
I'm
didn't go to
sure he
waste. Let's put it that way.
did.
But
All
what's
right,
up,
let's
Greg
take a look.
Town?
Let's take a look at this. Let's see
Do
what
it.
this is. All right, this is outside someone's house, and there's snow on the ground, and that's important. But because after I show it to you, I'll tell you why it's important. Hold on here. Get that out of the way. Okay. Now, do
No,
you
I see it.
see
Saw
that?
it. Yeah.
See that right there?
Wow. And it did it. Now, hang on, Anthony. Did that turn on that motion light when that happened?
This is a no because this is no that light is they highlight it to
Oh, okay. All right.
make you see
Okay.
it
Because I was
better.
gonna say that'd be extra
Yeah,
creepy.
yeah. Um, Now here's why this is important that it's snowing. There's no footprints and this there's no footprints there.
Yeah.
So it can't be a person that the camera is glitching on because there would be footprints in the snow.
Wow.
So that creeped me out. This one kind of creeped me out because what could that be?
Well, they're
It definitely,
walking. They're walking like they're like looks like they're laying down walking. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
right, right,
That's so crazy.
yeah. So okay,
You have some land at home, right?
yes.
Do
Hmm.
you have any like trail cams set up all over, like at all?
I don't
You
know.
should, man. It's
Yeah,
amazing the stuff those things pick up.
yeah. I
They're
mean,
not that expensive either.
I have what I have 3 acres, but
Doesn't matter.
it's not like I have a big. It's not like I have like acres and acres of land where there's going to be tons of wildlife.
But you got enough though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that'd be a cool idea. Even if you bought one and just peeked at it once in a while. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I tell you, you'll definitely get. I know where I would put it because I see where I see the animals most, and that's probably where I would put it.
Well, hopefully you can have a Bluetooth or something and have like a camera like Stiggs does on his stoop. You could go live right to the trail
And
cam.
show the show show the street cleaner moving around my car, which is illegally parked. All right.
Zelda said distant car light from that last video, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Distant car light. Hmm.
maybe. Could it be like the ripples of the snow in the yard? You know what I mean? And the light
Mm-hmm.
hitting it right. You know what I mean? That's actually a pretty good assumption there.
I don't know, let me show you this one. This one is just weird. I don't know what this is. It may be just completely fake, but I just thought it was kind of funny, so that's why I'm gonna show it to you. All right. Now this is a person that's filming a bunny. A bunny. This is the bunny hopping around, and then you'll see up in the right corner here something that happens. All right, there you'll see the bunny hop away. Blah blah blah. Now watch the right hand corner.
I can't even. I want to swear so bad, but what was that?
Like
That's awesome.
what is
It's like a
that?
green screen would do it. Oh, that is great.
The haunted pants.
Oh, you got to play that again. Wow. It's wow.
I tell you, whoever did that did a good job.
It's great. I
You know.
love it. That is great. Done well.
All right.
Now, when you research this stuff, do you see and do you read any of the comments that people posted, like to see what their opinions are too?
On that one, no, I didn't. But yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. Like if it's intriguing to me, I'll look and see what people say because I want
Yeah.
to try to debunk, and maybe somebody else has a better idea. on on them than I do. But that one I
White,
didn't.
white pants. So white pants to boot.
Yeah.
White, pure white pants.
All right. Let's see. Now this one is going to be a little bit harder to look at, but let's do it anyway. It's kind of hard to see, and from that angle, I think it makes it a little bit more legitimate because it's not very obvious. But who knows? So hold on, let me see. All right. Share screen.
That was definitely somebody running for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it just
All right. Now watch the arrow here.
yeah,
Something faint. It's like a
yeah,
faint
yeah.
image. Now I think this could just be a reflection of somebody because it's so faint. Let me play it again.
Yeah, but that's like that's. I'm assuming that somebody's indoor like security camera, more or less, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But even so, imagine that. Well, how would you react if you were if that was your house and you
Oh
just
yeah.
happened to catch it? Would you?
Yeah.
Wouldn't, I'd be freaked out.
Absolutely. I'd be like, what the hell is this? I'd be
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Whether it's just coincidence or whatever, it would
Yeah.
still be kind of freaked out.
And this one I'm a little suspect of because it comes from a ghost hunter show. And I'm always suspect of those because they have to produce something, right? That's their show.
Well,
So, um, but I don't know. Who knows?
I love the little gadgets they all have.
Yeah,
It looks like a box that makes noises.
right.
Like they this costs $50,000 to yeah, okay, sure it
Well,
did.
did you ever see? I don't even know what they call it, but there's this thing that it it looks like stick. It makes stick men. It like makes stick men. It's supposedly
No.
picking up the ghost, and it looks like a stick man like moving around.
Oh my
And I
god.
forgot what they call it, but like I'm like, what makes you what makes that thing accurate? I don't even understand what it is. Like, what is that? It's and they say it as if it's proof. Like, oh, this is proof. Look at this.
Yeah, sure.
All right, now let's do this
What's up,
one.
Trox in the
Truck.
house.
Good to see you, my friend. All right, let's do this one. Where's my?
You need to get like a good set of eyeballs for Lenny.
Yeah.
That would make your show
Oh yeah.
creepier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like him
Yes.
looking over your shoulder with those, like the eyeballs from like the Thriller video. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
No, that's a good idea. All right, let's see this guy. Let's see what this one. This is somebody. This is a restaurant security camera, and you're going to see somebody or something walking this way, walking out, kind of walking out. But it's at late at night. There's nobody in the place, or walking in. I'm
Ooh,
sorry, walking in.
yeah. Last call. That's crazy.
Hmm. Now I don't know if that could be. I guess it could be a glitch of like a camera, like of the security camera. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, it could be like somebody forgot something and it's pitch black in there, and then they're walking. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, oh crap, I forgot something, and then sure
Right.
enough, the camera picked it up last second, like a
Right.
motion.
If it's a motion camera, that
Yeah.
could happen because I do have a camera on my front, that has happened at times with people when the delivery man comes or something. Like it doesn't pick him up until he's like in the middle of where he is, and it should have picked him up at the beginning, and it didn't.
Is that you up there?
Where the
Right there.
pig?
Cursor was.
This?
Yeah, the guy behind the.
I don't know what that is. That's part of the video. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I think
he's
it's
he's literally recording that video on his cell phone
yeah.
against the computer screen.
Right. That's right. Exactly. That's what he's doing. You're right. Yeah, that's not me.
Busted.
This is from the website or the YouTube channel Slapped Ham. That's where I got this one.
Hence the pig thing in the.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Now the last ones I've got here. It's a two-parter. Now this is interesting because this is from. I think this is it. Yeah.
Can
Oh,
somebody
so
time out Osada, please?
this is from an Italian ghost hunting channel. And they're pretty good. I watched them a little bit. They're pretty good. But it's all in Italian, so you can't really understand, and they don't have subtitles. So, but anyway, here let's do this. There's two parts. Now, first part is they're in a Tesla, and they're in northern Italy in the Alps. They're at a vacant cemetery. Like they're and everything's snow covered. They're in the Alps, and they're at an old cemetery, and they're in their Tesla. Oh wait a minute, this is not it. This is the second part. I'll show you this part anyway, since it's up. This is the second part. This is when they see a shadow. They see like a shadow appear and vanish, and it's on camera. So let me play it. Now watch forward. Watch the forward part. Let me see here. Let me go through this crap here. I don't want to. This is a waste here. Okay, now here. Watch. They're going to show it to you. There's a black figure in the snow, and it vanishes. It looks like somebody diving in the snow, and then it just vanishes.
I didn't see it.
They'll play it again. Up close. They'll show it up close.
Lenny's really zooming in on this stuff, isn't he, tonight?
Yeah, look at him. He's all interested today.
That's what Gino was saying. I saw it in the comments. I still haven't seen it, Anthony. I don't know.
There it is.
Okay.
Let me stop it. Now, see, that's the figure. And watch it move.
Oh, yeah.
Like he screws it up. The guy screws it up by he's kind of like a Bigfoot filmer. Like he screws it up like that.
Yeah. That was a raccoon. I got news for you. Yeah, it was an animal.
Yeah. Now that's the first one. Now there was another part of this, and I want to show you. They're in a Tesla. Remember, so they have in the Tesla, they have this like motion detector up front, so it'll show you the image on the computer screen. It'll show you the image of what the car believes is there in front of them, like when its radar picks up something. So let me. And you'll see what it does here. Get rid of that. Okay. Okay, hold on. Oh, what happened to my screen here? What the hell happened to my screen?
Just chilling. How you doing?
I can't. This is weird. I can't see my screen anywhere. The hell just happened? You can still see me on the screen?
Yes.
Because I can't see myself.
We see you.
This is bizarre.
This is what you get for doing these kinds of videos, Anthony.
I know there's too much going on here, right?
This is about to happen. No, I meant.
Oh, the spooky stuff?
Yeah. Something spooky's happening right now.
Oh, there we go. All right, I'm back finally. Okay. Now I can see myself. All right. Yeah, I think the spooks don't like me doing this stuff. All right. Here we go. In case anyone wants to check it out, their YouTube is PIT. Their YouTube channel is PIT. Like I said, it's all in Italian. All right. Now watch this. This is what's interesting to me is that what the radar picks up on the Tesla. Let's see. They're watching the radar. This is the screen they see, right? This is the screen in the car, and then a person appears on the radar in front of them, and there's nothing there.
Since when did cars come with radar?
Well, I guess the Teslas do. I don't know. I don't have one.
In,
But
would a Hyundai have that, or I mean,
yeah, I have no idea.
what?
And you'll see it again. You're going to see it again come up on their screen.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what was that? And of course, it could be a malfunction too, right? I mean, I don't know, but the car system picks up that there's a being in front of them.
Yeah, because there probably is. It's their friend and says, "Don't pan up yet."
I guess so. I don't know.
All right, Anthony. I'm
There
gonna
you
come
go.
to
There it
Jersey.
is. There it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna come to Jersey. Let's rent a. Yeah, it's a guy with a vest standing in the street.
the vest, like
Yeah,
Ralph.
that's right. Yeah, look, you
Um,
can see the shoes and everything.
well, this is the what the image in the Tesla. Like when someone's standing there, that's what it
Yeah,
shows you.
it's the guy from the back seat from the previous video.
The one with the camera, right?
Yes, that's who it is. Very simple. So let's when I come down there, let's rent a Tesla and go somewhere weird and see if we pick up anything on the radar.
Yeah. Look, I'm down for that. Why not? What can you lose, right?
Does anybody in the chat have a Tesla or have owned a Tesla and have ever seen anything on their radar? It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never heard of a car having radar. Like, what do you need it for?
I you got
Are
me. I
there,
don't know.
are there enemy automobiles? I mean, what?
Well, you do. I mean, modern cars do have that motion detection stuff, which I do have on my car. I have,
No, we
and
have
I
it
just
on
have a
ours too,
Honda.
on the side mirrors.
Yeah,
You know what I
I just
mean?
have a Honda. But um, it does have an image of the car, like a car next to you. I mean, I don't think it's actual radar, but the car system is assuming it's a car, so it shows you the image of a car, like on my screen. You know, when I if I get too close to something or something like that, it'll start beeping and it'll show an image of a car on it. But I think it'll show an image of a car for anything. You know what I mean? I don't think it's just a car. It just assumes
Right.
that there's a car there. But yeah, so those are my videos. Those were the
Nice.
group for tonight, and I think that was it. Here, let me see. Is that it? Just want to make sure. Yeah, that's it. All right. So let me just see if anything's going on in the chat here. We're talking. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say is, the whole story. I don't know if you were listening to the story about the woman that was buried alive.
Yes, that she was
Uh,
clawing.
yeah,
Clawed off her.
that's
Yeah.
horrible. Just a horrible fate, right? When you think about it, that almost happened to my grandfather.
No way.
Absolutely, 100% true. When he was 2 years old, and he was in Italy. Now that would be 1919. He was 2 years old. He caught scarlet fever and went into like a coma type of thing, like where he was barely breathing. And they were very poor. They lived in like the countryside, and they assumed he was dead. And they held a wake for him, and thank God they held a wake for him
Oh my
because
gosh. Yeah.
during the wake he wakes up. He wakes up from his whatever it was, like from the coma or whatever the hell he was in. He wakes up and sits up as a child, and he's 2 years old. He's a little kid, but otherwise he would have been buried. I mean, it's the scariest thing.
That must have been a sight and a half. Oh, you imagine? Because nowadays, like, people don't, it's medically induced comas. Like,
Right,
that doesn't really happen, anymore.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean? So that,
exactly.
yeah. So that's crazy. No, I have a friend. I don't know if Thindu's still in the chat here, but back in the 80s, there's a bridge not too far from the Bills Stadium, and there was an accident where a construction vehicle fell on a car and like crushed it.
Oh
And
wow.
my friend is, he was pronounced dead at the scene. He was a kid,
Oh
and
boy.
I think he's only like like I don't know 3 or 4 years older than me.
Hmm.
And basically, when they were zipping him up, they saw his foot wiggle,
Oh.
and
Oh
so
wow.
they opened it back up, and obviously, he was back. And
Wow.
but he had to relearn to walk and
Oh
talk and like
yeah, I'm
basically
sure.
start all over again.
Yeah.
And he is a very wealthy man right now.
Wow.
His parents did it right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
They put the money and they invested it for him. And
Hmm.
he's a very, and he still works full time. He's an electrician,
That's
works full
great.
time, and he's got multi millions.
Wow.
And you'd never know. You'd
Hmm.
never know talking to the guy. Yeah, he doesn't act it, nothing. Doesn't flaunt it, nothing.
Hi, Magic. Thank you for joining. Magic of Healing. Um, yeah, I mean, like that's yeah, Zelda. I mean, like that story was like the famous story that they told in my family, and it was like, and my grandfather would laugh at it, because he was 2 years old. He had no memory of it, but
Right.
but he would say like, you'd never be here right now. Like I wouldn't be
Yeah,
here,
right.
and
Yeah,
you
that
wouldn't
would
be
change
here.
the whole trajectory of the LaVista family.
Uh, I mean, and he was one of 7 kids, and that there were actually 9 kids, and 2 of them had died as children.
That's
Um,
pretty common back in those days, huh?
yeah,
'Cause,
yep,
like maybe that's why everybody had so many damn kids.
exactly. I think you're right. All
Yeah,
right, and especially from like if you were from like a farming region or something like that, like you weren't in a city, you needed to have those kids, right? Because that would be your workforce. And
like
um,
my dad is one of 8.
mhm.
Now that's
Wow,
non-existent.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. And,
Yeah, one of 8.
and in his generation, that's very rare, right? That's very rare.
Well, I mean, he's 72 right now.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, he had I think he was. I think they had an even number, 4 boys,
Wow,
4 girls. Yeah.
that's
So
crazy. Um,
actually, no, it was actually, what am I saying? 3 and 5, 3 girls, five boys. Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
exactly, Zelda. Right. They would have lost a lot at young ages. So they kept having, they would keep having kids. Um, it's amazing, what people had gone through and how they, going through the loss of children like that. I don't know how people survive that. But it was common.
But
It was
yeah,
just,
I mean,
it was
it
just
was
common.
common for 2 guys to go out in the middle of the road and duel,
Yeah.
and people saw it as like entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the guy would drop dead in the street, and they'd walk away and continue their day.
Yeah.
It's really it's messed up.
So yeah, so that was my creepy story from
Oh, it's good
my
stuff.
family.
Good stuff.
He
Lenny really is shocked.
liked it, right? Remember, remember when we used to say this was Ralph? You remember that? That was
Yeah,
terrible. That was terrible. That was terrible. We used to say that.
yeah.
Um,
Well, now now we got to watch
I
ourselves.
know now we definitely can't say that, but that was
Yeah.
that was terrible. Um, and I was thinking, I went back and I looked at some of my shows, and really early shows, like this was even before I think you started hanging around with us, where we did this. Maybe you were there. I don't know. Oh, you weren't there, but Stiggs and Ralph and I did a show at a pizza, my friend's pizzeria, our friend's pizzeria in Nutley. We did a live show from there.
Yeah, I wasn't around for that.
Yeah.
I was after.
Um, and what was I going to say about it? It was just no, like Ralph was saying. Ralph starts singing. Ralph starts singing to the camera at one point. Like it was like a long one of those Stig's long lives, and and we're like going back and forth. I was getting wine and preparing wine to taste, and then we were getting the pizzas, and it was all outside. And while this is going on, Ralph starts singing to the camera. Hey, we got to find that. We got to find because that wasn't on my version. Because what I did, I had an edited version, and I tried to make it like a traditional Wine Guild episode.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, and but Stiggs might have that on his channel somewhere, where he starts singing to the camera at random.
Good. I I gotta dig out. I mean, God, man, Ralph was on my show every morning for
Oh yeah,
since my
yeah.
beginning, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to try to go through and get out some real highlights like of all of us again.
Yeah.
I know I have some like in like just short videos and stuff like that, but like had a lot of good times.
And I remember he used to do those car lives every day, basically,
Yeah,
for
nine
a
o'clock,
while.
9 in the morning.
And and I remember having conversations with him where he would say, oh, "I don't like this. I'm not going to do this anymore." And I should say, "No, they're actually good. I actually liked them because they were just like off the cuff, relaxing type of things. They weren't like
Yeah,
like
like cars driving by and just
yeah, yeah,
and he had the voice for it too.
yeah,
Even his regular voice.
yeah, absolutely."
Yeah,
Yeah, Zelda. Yeah, I mean, like he was really part of our crew, and unfortunately, things kind of fell apart. And but there was never any ill will at all, and
yeah. When it stopped, it stopped. There was
it just
no.
stopped. Yeah,
It just wasn't. And there no dragging anything on. It was just
yeah,
your way, and
yep.
that was that. So. And it
So
was quiet. Nobody made either side never made a big deal out of anything. So,
no,
I mean,
not at all.
that was.
No, no.
But I mean, we still, even when I would pull up old stuff, I mean, we'd still shout them out.
Mm-hmm.
No matter
Yeah,
what. So
sure. Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, I went to his channel. And he took down a lot of stuff uh, that he had on there.
hmm.
Like like his version of that video of him dancing, it's not there. I looked. He doesn't have it there.
Well, unfortunately, he probably knew what was coming and didn't,
Mm,
want to remove anything that he didn't want to be remembered by. You know what I mean? I get it. It's. But he always did say, he had two channels because, especially for the singing one, that
yes.
he want his family to remember
Right.
and see, So I do remember him saying that.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. He said that. He used to say it all the time that
Yep.
he did the singing channel so that his kids and grandkids would have have those memories of him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And now it exists, right? So he accomplished that. He really did.
Yeah. No doubt.
Um, and wherever he is, I know that he's watching and laughing. I just know he is. I
Oh, no doubt.
that's like I said, like when I first made that video, with the love machine thing, he thought it was hilarious. He thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that was me dancing that video and my friends got a hold of that. I don't know how happy I'd be that put it
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Well,
I know
you
he did
also wouldn't
first.
put it
I
up.
know.
You
Yeah.
also wouldn't have put it up yourself. you know,
Yeah.
that's the difference. And like I said, I think that was Ralph. That was him. Like he saw that video, which was 35 years old, whatever it was, 40 years old, I don't know. But he saw that as who he was, right? That he never changed. He saw
Right.
that's who he was. No matter how old he was, that's what he saw him being.
Yeah. And it was nice because like a lot of times it was just him and I on in the mornings.
Oh
I go on
yeah.
5 in the morning. Nobody's really awake or feel like coming up on somebody's panel.
Mm-hmm.
From a guy who just got out of work who's wired up. And
Right.
um, but we had a lot of really good conversations about like because he was in the wedding industry. He was like a videographer, like one of the very first videographers that would put
Yes.
you know and so him and I had some things in common as far as weddings, and we talk about have conversation about that. So
And he actually did a podcast way before, it was popular podcast. He did a wedding
about weddings, yeah,
wedding
yeah,
podcast. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
it's crazy.
So he was a man of many, many facets, like all the different things he got involved in. He liked the limelight, like the spotlight. He liked that. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, see, no, I don't know. I don't know if I want to play those. I mean, I got the ones that you sent me yesterday, but I don't. They're spoofs and this and that, but I don't know. I think we'll
yeah,
just stick to his
they
his.
are kind of spoofy, right? They are like kind
Yeah,
of spoofy.
yeah. I'll just stick
Um,
to his good stuff anyway.
yeah, and Sino said that Sino Evil said that he always had good things to say about his uncle. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he said that he knew his uncle, right? I think Ralph said that he knew his uncle or met his uncle.
Yeah, I think they.
Growing up, he met him. Yeah, something like that.
You remember when he was in the picture in the back with Frankie
Oh
Valli?
my God! Oh, oh my,
He's lucky he was tall.
oh my God! That was funny. That was so. And then, remember they crossed out his face.
Yeah, I do.
Oh boy. Yeah. Well, that was him. Like he had to be where the action was. So when he found that was happening, he went straight there. He did a live from it, right? He did a live from the
Did he? Yeah,
the street naming. He was doing a live from the
yeah.
street.
You got a better memory than me, man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. He did a live from that. He's like, I'm here live, and Frankie Valli is here. We're gonna as if he was like a news reporter.
Yeah, yeah. We're live with my iPhone 7. Yeah.
Yes, Dean, though, exactly right. The hilarious photo bomb. You're absolutely right.
I can't believe I remembered that.
Yeah, you did. I forgot about that. That's
Yeah,
good.
man. My
That's good.
memory's gone,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah.
don't. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm not gonna. They're funny for us to watch, but I'm not gonna play those.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the only reason I play the dancing video is because he laughed at it, like he
Well,
laughed
yeah,
at
it's
it. And,
authentic. It's
yeah,
good. It's
yeah.
um. But yeah, like I said, I just remember when he said, "I'm done with you two. I quit. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's over."
For
Within
14
4
minutes.
hours, I dropped a link in my chat. Hey, good morning. Said what? How you doing? Yeah. And then he went live 2 hours after that.
I also remember. You remember when he first got his monetization, and he got the monetization, and he was all angry, and he said, "I don't want to be a part of this. I don't want to be a part of this." He was like, "I don't want to be a part of this program." And I said, "Well, Ralph, you don't have to be. Like
Yeah, right.
you
Right.
just don't sign up for it."
Yeah, don't. How about they stole his platform shoes out of his car?
Yes, that's right. That was a
Oh,
story. You're right.
I didn't
Yes,
know that.
yes, that was a story he told. Yes. Yep.
What the hell would he need platform shoes for?
Well, that was in the 70s.
What do you want to do? Bang his head off every doorway he goes
He
through?
was
That's
6 feet. He was 6 feet tall. But
what
yeah,
I'm saying.
yeah. But he no, that was from the 70s when everyone wore them. He was saying that
Did you ever wear them?
me in the 70s as a kid. No, no. Remember, Ralph
Oh,
was
that. Yes.
15
You're
years
right.
older than me.
Yeah.
Like he would wear them like disco dancing or whatever. Um,
Yeah. I'm glad I grew up in the 80s and 90s.
no, like I remember my aunts like going disco dancing and stuff like that. Like I was around to see them go disco dancing, but yeah, I was a kid. What was I going to do? I was 8 years old.
It's great.
Yeah, but that was a real story. He told a story about how they broke into his car and stole his platform shoes. Thindo has like the memory of an elephant over there. He comes up with I don't know where he got that one from. I forgot about that one too.
I thought Dean would have been snoring about about 3 minutes after your show started.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, I'm proud of him. He's staying up. That's
I
great.
talked maybe because I called him earlier. I got him on the phone. I got him all fired up earlier.
Yes.
That's probably why we had a nice funny conversation. I was messing with him bad, so I probably got him all fired up.
That's funny. Hi, Suzanne. I don't think I said hello to you. Hi, Suzanne.
Yeah, so I made the pizzas tonight, and one of my buddies is gonna stop over in a little while because I ain't going to bed anytime soon.
Ah,
And one of my friends is gonna stop over in a little while. I might have a couple of drinks and then just hang out.
cool. No, that's cool.
I'll go live at about 2:30 in the morning.
Oh, well, don't count on me coming on.
You came on the one time super late. You I don't know if you just like randomly woke up, but I was
Yes.
on. It was like 1 in the morning. You guys
Yeah.
came on.
Yeah, that was I don't know why I happened to be up. I don't know what happened there. For some reason I woke up. But yeah.
Um,
That's right, Gina. Right. That's absolutely right. Ralph definitely he had a great, amazing sense of humor.
he had a
Amazing. He
good
like
laugh too, man. He'd snort and
yeah.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I gotta get
he
some. I gotta get some clips together.
I mean, he was the butt of so many jokes to the point that I remember thinking, like, wait, we got to stop. We got to stop
I don't.
this.
Yeah, I don't know how he kept coming around my show.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
beat him up pretty bad. But like I said, if if he ever said Todd, chill out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Sure.
would, obviously.
Yeah.
So now I just do what the thing do.
Yeah. Well, listen, your show is what it is, right? Everybody goes on that knowing that that's what's going to happen. So that's for the most part. That's why that's the fun part of it is that we all joke about each other there. That's it's fun.
Yeah, like I said, it's mine is the dumpster. Anything nobody wants to do on their own show, they come to mine and do it.
Remember remember when Ralph told us that he would go dumpster diving? You had a fit. You had a fit. You're like, no way. Wait a minute, Ralph. No way. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, nonchalantly, he cleaned out He cleaned out like 3 Rite Aid dumpsters. Yeah, he fuck. Sorry, I don't want to swear on your show, but
It's like it was nothing to him. It was just like
oh
par for the
yeah, just
course.
another day.
He said, I got tons of this stuff. I got
I'll
tons
tell.
of it.
I'll tell you what, man. Whoever goes to retrieve his stuff in them storage
Oh,
areas,
geez. Oh my
as
lord.
soon as they open the door,
Yeah.
it's all coming down on them.
Yep. He was a collector too. He had tons of stuff that he
Yeah.
like collectibles and
Good.
stuff.
Maybe that's something that his grandkids and his kids could have, and they
Hmm.
can
Yeah.
either keep or use for their own
Right.
futures. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, Todd Feather, maybe a replay of your Halloween show. Yeah, if anybody wants to see, yeah, that was all good. That was all of us on my. Yeah, go back to the Ubats Halloween party on my
Right.
channel there. It was a good show. Yankees is doing good. I talk to him all the time, Sven. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know he was going to Denmark. I don't know. Did he come there, or is he still going, or what? But he's actually working in the days. He'll be working tomorrow during the day. Yankees.
Oh, Yankees was going to Denmark?
That's what Spencer said. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And again, we have to reiterate that Mr. Latona was invented because of Ralph.
Absolutely. He was.
Because that's what See No Evil said. The exhaust pipe fumes in his landlord's window.
Yeah. Remember those?
Yeah, that was an ongoing thing for a good week or two with the neighbor or the landlord in the just parking his car.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I gotta get back and I gotta clip some stuff.
Yeah, he was
That's it. And
he
I
was
think that
mad. He was mad at Latona. And if you go to Ralph's channel, you'll still see Mr. Latona's garden. He filmed Mr. Latona's garden. It's on
oh
there.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
there.
That wasn't his actual name, was it?
No, no.
Okay, all right. I was gonna
No,
say
no, no. That was a made up
I-
name. It was a made
if
up name.
that was a real name, it took me till now to figure it out.
No, Thindu made up that name.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, Tommy got a robe, right? Was Tommy the first one to get the red
Yes.
robe, and then Ralph got a red robe?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh, like I said, all he needed was one of those giant sticks that come out of your mouth that hold a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he needed for that
Yes.
for them shows.
Yep. Yeah. And I just it still crack every time I think about it, it cracks me up how he couldn't shut his show off. It would just play. It would play. The chat would just play and play for hours on end because he couldn't figure out how to shut it off.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And then he had like a music show that he opened up. It got about 7,000 strikes, and that
Yes.
was it. That didn't last long.
Yes.
He played every single thing that was copyrighted on the internet. And then it got shut down.
And I remember when he did that alien show, I kept saying, Ralph, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You're gonna get shut. You're gonna get shut down. Don't do it. And
Yeah.
he went ahead with it and he got shut down, completely
Oh
shut
yeah.
down.
Jeez, I can't answer this. I'm getting a text from somebody who's in your chat here right now, and I can't answer that question right now. I'm live. I'd give you 5 guesses, and you wouldn't be able to guess who it is. But that's okay.
I wouldn't be able to guess.
No, nope.
Okay. You're talking about the question, whatever they asked you. Okay.
No, if I would give you 5 guesses of who's texting me when we're live right now. Now, it's
Oh.
somebody in your chat. I don't think you'd be able to guess.
Okay. I think I know.
No, I don't think you do. I'm serious.
Not see no evil.
Nope.
Really?
Nope. That's one.
All right. And somebody that's in the chat right now.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know. You got me. I don't know.
Well, I'm not
Just
going to
me.
tell.
Good to see you. I'm sorry. I never said hello to you. Just me.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know. I give up because it's not Thiendo and it's not it's not Stiggs or Thiendo. That's too obvious. So
or see no evil. Well, no. Well, Osada just sent me a real fun text.
or Osada.
No, it's not him, but he just
Yeah.
did text me.
All right.
It's all good.
Yep.
What are you eating?
Popcorn.
Very nice.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Slim. Oh, that's right. Slim. I said hello. I didn't say hello to Slim. Good to see you, buddy.
Slim's in the house. Slim came on my live last week.
Oh yeah.
I think you should do I mean, what's his name did a show on it, but maybe you should do a follow up on Slim's finger. I never seen nothing like that in my life.
Thiendo talked about it.
I know, that's what I said,
Yeah.
but he comes on my live and all of a sudden a finger goes all the way across my screen. Wow. That's great, Slim. I don't know. You've been around a while, and I never noticed that. That's what I said. I'm like, I said I've known you for over a year at least. I said I never noticed that.
That's because he's actually a werewolf. Like the werewolves have that.
Yeah, I would have fun with that, man. I would totally mess with people with that.
Delilah, how are you? Yeah, so Slim is probably going on at 10 o'clock. He usually does.
Yeah.
So tune into him. No, I didn't see no evil. I didn't see the inductees. I don't watch those shows. I never watch any of those award or I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, he Sino Evil was on my panel this morning. He mentioned who it was. He mentioned people that probably should be. I think it was Ozzy and I forget who else, but he said then A Tribe Called Quest. They're not nowhere near Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's what frustrates me about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Tribe Called Quest. Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
that is terrible.
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, they're a good group. Don't get me wrong. I used, I'd listen to them in high school.
It's not rock.
It's nowhere near it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they haven't been to Denmark yet. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I told Yankees he's got to come to Buffalo and do one because he likes to travel to sports stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him he's got to before they open the new Bills stadium, he's got to do one tailgate with me here. So.
Oh, yeah. Why not? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You don't watch college football, right?
Like I said today,
yeah.
If anything, I catch the highlights, but no, I never really watch it.
That's the only thing I watch. I don't watch NFL. But the Notre Dame game was a great game, man. It was
so as we were saying,
back and forth. They were tied for most of the thing. the first half was like all defense, and then it kind of opened up in the second half, and then it came down to there was like 5 minutes left, 4 minutes left, something like that. They were tied. Um, Notre Dame got the ball. I thought they were going to score. I thought they were going to kick a field goal. They were going to get close enough. They didn't. They were 3-and-out, I think. And then so Penn State gets the ball. Penn State throw like they're in the same position, right? They're trying to get to field goal position. So they get the ball. They snap the ball, whatever. The quarterback is in a precarious situation. He's about to get sacked. He just wildly throws the ball, and it's an interception. And that was basically the end of it from then on, because then Notre Dame slowly went down to field goal position and kicked the field goal. And it was all because that quarterback choked. All he had to do was take the snap. Take the sack, the Penn State quarterback, and they would have went into overtime because no one was really scoring at that point. They were kind of stuck.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But that changed the whole momentum of the game, and that was it. But it was
I wonder
exciting
if
to
that,
watch.
like, again, I don't know who the quarterback was or whatever, but that might have hurt his draft stock.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think he was a senior though. He may not have been a senior.
Right.
The Penn State quarterback. But the story with Notre Dame is really their coach. This young guy. He's like they keep calling him black. I mean, he is black. I mean, like that's the in the media. Oh, you're the first black whatever coach.
Yeah.
Well, who cares? But the point is that the cool thing about it is that Penn State is. I mean, Notre Dame has been struggling. They're always good, but they've been struggling. And when he came, it was a new direction for the program. And the cool thing about it, he wasn't Catholic, and he converted to Catholicism in September, which I thought was really cool. Like he he basically saw the faith and felt it and converted to Catholicism, and then instituted this practice where before each game they have the whole team goes to a mass, which is something they haven't done in many years.
Okay,
So,
I was gonna say, did he convert to Catholicism because of the Benjamins, or?
well, he doesn't have to be. The last coach wasn't Catholic. He
Oh,
didn't have
okay,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
See, well, that's what I mean. I don't know
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah, I mean that's why I thought it was kind of cool, because it's as if he like was exposed to this and felt it and decided this is what I want to do, which I thought was really neat. And it makes a good story anyway.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I
But
never
yeah,
knew
I
that.
mean, like, yeah, he's half black and he's half Asian, so who gives a crap? But that's what the media is worried about,
Well, of course.
That's
I mean, of course. If I was a coach in Notre Dame, it wouldn't have mattered. You know what I mean?
right.
Wouldn't have made any difference. Oh, Mary J. Blige.
That was Mary J. Blige was in the Hall of Fame. Cool in the Gang, Dionne Warwick. But these are great acts, but they're not rock and roll. Why
Right.
don't they have a different? Why don't they have a different organization like Hall of Fame specifically for like R&B or whatever you would call those groups, or
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean, or soul or whatever. I don't know. But why do they all have to be in the same thing?
Maybe because that's the only one. I mean, they should just switch it to the Music Hall of
Well,
Fame
call
or
it right. Well,
something.
that's the
You
other
know?
thing. Call it the Music Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Hmm.
I really don't. I got nothing.
Cinnamon Girl says Ohio. Yeah, Ohio State is playing Texas right now, I think. For
Oh,
the
right
other,
now?
yeah, for the other spot in the championship game.
Yeah. So I like I said, I pay attention to the NFL. That's it.
They have the BET Awards. Lila says yes, but isn't that for like videos or like? Excuse me. That's for like TV and video. That's not. I don't think that's music, is it? BET.
I'm not sure.
Because BET is a channel, right? Black Entertainment. That's a
Yeah.
channel,
Yeah.
cable channel. Ohio State's winning. Yeah, surprise, surprise, Delilah. Surprise, surprise. I knew they were gonna. I expect them to win. Let's put it that way. I expect them to win. So, anyway,
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me up.
No,
It's a good
no,
show.
thank you. I
Good show
appreciate
for
it. You know, it's
sure.
always good to have somebody else on here, especially when I do the videos, because I like the back and forth.
The color commentating.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You're like Phil Rizzuto to, and I'm who am I? Roy White or whatever his name was.
I don't know who either of those
Well, you're
people
too
are, but
young to know that.
I'll take your word for
They
it.
were the Yankee announcers in the 70s and 80s.
Well, I appreciate it either way.
But
Um,
I appreciate it too. So thanks for coming up.
yeah, no problem. See you guys
Have a good
soon.
have a good weekend.
All right, you too.
Bye bye. All right, guys. Well, thank you each and every one of you for hanging out with me so long. I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. Wow, I didn't realize that was going to be on that long. But I think it was a great show. We said goodbye to Ralph. We talked about some cool stories in Kentucky, from Kentucky, and we saw some videos which were entertaining, made you think. So, with that, I'm going to say I'm going to blow out my candles and say, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for building the guild. God bless. Oh, tune into Slim, 10 o'clock. He's probably on. Have a great week, everyone. Bye bye.